everyone, Sunday prep days here. I am excited to share with you my prep for this week. But first I want to say thank you again to all my subscribers. You know I appreciate you all from the very bottom of my heart. And if you're new to my channel, I hope that you will go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure that you click the notification bell so that you are notified anytime that I upload new content. And welcome, my name is Christy and I am planning us healthy. So this is how prep day begins. I don't want to have to cook after I'm done prepping everything, so I have some carrots, some celery, some mushrooms, some potatoes, some onions, and a chuck roast, and I just put some Worcester. I actually sear the chuck roast first with some steak seasoning, and then I put Worcester and beef broth in it. And I just let it sit there and cook for about 8 to 10 hours. And then that way I don't have to worry about it after I'm done prepping. So that's the start of prep day. Okay guys, so before I get started with the prep, I have a couple things that I want to share with everybody. I first want to say thank you. I've had, throughout my short 6 weeks on YouTube, I have had some shout outs from people. It started with Joan from Joan's Pointed Plate. I have had, I think Denise from Dish with D may have, I've just had a few shout outs. I think Anita at Chit Paddiwack. This week I had Sandy from Let's Get Fit with Sandy gave me a shout out, and so did Carrie with Weight Watchers with Carrie. So if you don't know that, I'm sure you all already know them, but make sure to check their channels out. But I just want to say thank you to all of you and to my subscribers. Honestly, everybody, subscribers, channels, everybody. I've created so many friendships with so many of you, subscribers, channels, and I just feel really blessed. So I wanted to say thank you to you all. Now, I would like to give a shout out this week. And I heard of this channel first from, I believe, Sandy and maybe Anita. I think it was Sandy and Anita. I might have heard of it from Amy on And It's for Nurse too. I'm not sure. So, which I want to thank Amy because she just did a recent video where she gave shout outs to a lot of channels and then gave the opportunity for other channels to be listed in the comments. So that it's just a great community that everybody just kind of, you know, envelopes everybody together. So, but the channel that I want you all to check out this week is called SMAC Vision. It's SMAC Vision. And it's two friends. I think their names are Angela and Kate. If I got your names wrong, I apologize. I don't even know if they probably don't even watch my channel. But anyway, you guys, they are absolutely so funny. I mean, they just do all these fun, goofy things and just have fun with life. It's just such a break from real life, and it's just funny. So go check them out. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with prep. All right, guys. So I have gotten some things prepped already. Just little things like measuring or weighing out my pretzels. I still have to put the little cheese wedges in there, but I've done some of that. I did have a request from Tamsin asking if I could also show cook-alongs with my dinner meal preps, which I do have some of them out there. I just don't have it linked from like one video to another, because when I was doing those, I was brand new and I didn't know about all the linking. I'm still learning that stuff. So for breakfast, I'm doing, I have to do a breakfast casserole later on in the week for work. So I was gonna just double that, but then I saw on Joan's Pointed Plate, she did a breakfast frittata, so that looked really good. So I think I'm gonna do that. Hers was a 0 point, which I love 0 point things. I'm gonna do a 2 point one. I'm gonna add some things. I did put it into the recipe builder, and it is 2 points for each serving. I'm gonna make 6 servings, so we are going to have this for 3 mornings, my husband and I. So that's gonna be breakfast, is the breakfast frittata. And I have my cereal weighed out for the other 2 mornings, and actually I probably only need it 1 morning because I'll be doing my work breakfast casserole. I use the unsweetened vanilla almond milk for my cereal, and I use 30 grams of Fiber One original cereal. That's all that's in here. So, and then I just usually top it with some fruit. And then for my lunches this week, I'm going to do chicken fried rice, and I think I'm going to cook some broccoli extra to have with that on the side. And then I have a work lunch on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'm just going to do Laughing Cow turkey wraps. Those are basically just an Olay Wellness Extreme wrap, Extreme Wellness, one or the other. I put some Laughing Cow cheese on it, and some turkey and vegetables, and that's a 2-point wrap. So I'm not going to prep that because I'm not having those until Thursday and Friday, and I don't want them sitting there getting soggy until then. So that's all we have, and then my dinners, we'll move on to those after. So I'm going to go ahead and let you follow along with me while I do the breakfast frittata. Alright guys, so let me show you what I'm putting in my frittata. This is going to make 6 servings, and I wanted 2 eggs in each serving. I have 12 eggs. And I have mixed those with 1/4 cup of fat-free half and half. I have some peppers that I went ahead and just kind of sauteed a little bit. I also have a little bit of kale and spinach in there, and I just kind of sauteed that a little. And then I also have 6 slices of breakfast chicken sausage. This brand I get at Aldi's. This is the country style. You have to make sure to watch there's different ones, and the kind that's like apple maple, that one I think is 2 points per link. This one is only 1 point per link. So I'm using 6 of those in the frittata. So I went ahead and just kind of cooked those up a little bit too, and now I'm just going to go ahead and dump this in here. I'm also going to be using 1/4 cup of Velveeta Shreds Mexican style. I'm just going to top that at the end. And I also have some green onion that I'm going to top it with as well. So this is all that's going to be going in it. I have some salt and some pepper. Alright, I'm just going to stir that all up. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I have a pie plate sprayed with olive oil spray. This is actually a cheesecake plate, but it works really good. I'm just going to pour all that in there, and then I'm going to bake it for, I'm thinking probably between 15 to 20 minutes. While that's baking, then we will move on to our lunch, which is the chicken fried rice. So I am going to use my big wok for my chicken fried rice. I'm going to just give it a really good spray with olive oil spray. And I'm just going to let that heat up for a couple minutes. Alright, so my pan is heated. I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken. And I'm just going to let that cook through. And in the meantime, I have part of a red pepper, a green pepper, and I'm going to use some shallot. I diced up some shallot, and I'm going to just cut these up real good, and I'm going to end up adding those to it after as well. Alright, so my chicken is done, and I have just put it aside on a plate. I like to kind of let it get a little bit charred at the end so that I can have some little bits in there for the vegetables. I also seasoned this. I actually picked this up at the Dollar General. It is chicken seasoning, and it is really good. We use this on pork chops, chicken, a bunch of stuff. So that's all I seasoned it with. So now I'm going to add my vegetables. They actually did not have peas at Walmart grocery pickup, so they replaced it with mixed vegetables. I'm just going to go ahead and try that. I actually only need 1 cup of that. Actually, you know what? There's only 2 cups. I'm going to go ahead and use all 2 cups. We're going to have a lot of vegetables in it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my shallot and red pepper and green pepper in there. And I'm going to let those cook until they're fairly soft. And I already have cooked my rice. I do not care for brown rice or cauliflower rice, so I am just using the minute white rice. Most recipes call for 1 cup of cooked rice per portion, but I'm just going to be using ½ a cup of cooked rice per portion. So this is actually 1 cup of water and 1 cup of rice that I used to make the 2 cups of rice. And I've already cooked that so that I can let it cool down before I add it into the pan. So I'm going to let these cook up. Okay guys, so I went ahead and took my frittata out. I'm going to go ahead and just top it with the cheese and the green onion, and then I will go ahead and portion that after it's cooled down. So this is going to be 6 portions at 2 points each. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic now. I'm just going to add a little bit, and I actually have turned the burner off for now because I don't want to burn the garlic. I did cook mine a little bit, probably longer than most people do. I just like that little bit of char on there. But certainly cook them to your liking. Next thing I'm going to do is add 3 eggs. And I'm just going to go ahead and crack them right in there like that and then stir them. You can actually go ahead and mix them in a bowl first if you want, but I'm just going to do them this way. And turn my burner back on. You could just make a little well to let those cook in. Alright guys, so the eggs are cooked. I'm going to turn my burner down. And I'm going to add the rice. Alright, now we're going to add our chicken back in. And I have to say, this is going to be quite a bit for 4 portions at only 3 points each. And I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of sesame seed oil. I'm not going to add too much because that has really strong flavor. And I don't like a whole lot of that flavor in there. So now we're just going to kind of mix it in, and then we really don't have to cook it anymore because everything else was already cooked. The chicken and rice was already cooked. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Okay guys, so here's our lunches. They are pretty good portions. I am so excited to have this week. So the broccoli, I just put it in the microwave. I put it in a glass dish with just a little bit of water in the bottom. Put the broccoli in there, and I just microwaved it for about 3 minutes. So it'll continue cooking the rest of the way when we microwave it at work. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray the broccoli with a few sprays of spray butter. And then I will put some salt and pepper on it. I won't be adding any salt and pepper. I think I'm going to add pepper to the rice, but not any salt because we definitely have enough salt in there. Okay, and that is it for lunches. Like I said, the other lunches, I have a lunch day at work on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'm just going to do my 2-point turkey and Laughing Cow cheese wraps. So this is it for lunch prep for this week. And I also have my frittata done, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. Just to let you know how I did it. For the rice, what I did is I took the whole wok and dumped it on, I put a plate on my scale and I dumped it on there, and it actually came out to exactly 1,200 grams. Perfect. I don't know how I did that. So I just portioned out 300 grams in each one. So for the frittata, you can see it turned out pretty good. So I am actually going to portion mine out into a big container. I have a big fridge at work that we use, and so what I'll do is I'm just gonna go ahead and bring all of mine at once, and then each day, oh, that turned out really nice on the bottom. Each day I will just put a piece on a paper plate. Okay guys, so I ran out of memory on my phone there. So what I was saying is each day I'm going to take mine, I've got it in this big container, and each day I'll just put mine on a paper plate and heat it up at work. My husband's, I do his separate because he's not so lucky at work, so I have his portion so he can just take one each day. And now we're done with breakfast and lunch, so I will get on to dinners. It is time to prep dinner, and Most of you know how I do my dinners, in just portion it out in bags. I am actually just going to be doing 3 of them tonight. I am doing the apple stuffed pork chops. I'm doing kind of doing the turkey tacos and the cedar plank salmon. One night, I'm not sure what we're having because I have a lunch at work, so I'm not sure how much I'll be eating that day. And then the fish fry on Friday, I don't prep that because it's just frozen fish, so I just leave that. Sometimes I'll prep the potatoes, but I actually need to buy potatoes for that night, so I forgot. Also, I have a pot roast going in the slow cooker, so I may end up having, I know I have more than enough of pot roast, so I made a bunch, so I'm actually probably going to just have that one night. So that may be the night that I don't have anything scheduled for work. So the first thing I'm going to do is the cedar plank salmon. I actually already bought the salmon on the cedar plank, and it's the one that you don't have to soak. I get that at Aldi, so I'm going to leave that way. And I think I'm going to, for the topping, I'm just going to use some Dijon mustard and brown sugar. And it's going to make it a 2-point salmon. So I'm going to do equal amounts. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So that's going to be for the topping for the salmon. So I'm just going to mix that up, and that will just go in the bag. This is going to be an easy one. You all know the rice I use is 90-second microwave rice. That is 5 points for 1 cup. I usually just have a half a cup at 3 points. And on my meal plan to go with the salmon, I actually had cheesy Brussels sprouts, but I am going to, instead I picked up some asparagus, so I'm going to do some asparagus and broccoli. I know we're having broccoli for lunch through the week, but honestly, we love broccoli, so I could eat broccoli all the time. So I'm going to just put some asparagus and broccoli in my bag. And again, I don't wash it until the night we have it. I do have while this is going, I have my ground turkey breast going on the stove for the turkey tacos. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just make all of this. So for the turkey tacos, I'll just go ahead and cook up the meat. And then most of the other ingredients I won't prep, but I want to at least cook up the meat. So then I'm going to put some broccoli in here. And I just get these bags of the broccoli florets at Publix. These do actually scan 1 point. I think they have a little bit of added sugar in them. So I always have to remember to add a point for that broccoli. Sometimes when I have a lot of vegetables, I go ahead and make extra because my dogs love broccoli, believe it or not. And so if I have extras, I just give them some. And sometimes I don't feel like having rice, so that night I may just decide just to leave the rice out. So I'm not going to try, usually I take the salmon out of the package and put it in its own so that it can go in here, but since it's on a cedar plank, I'm actually just going to leave that alone and just put the bag on top of it. So then I'm just going to put my sauce in there. And then, of course, my rice I'll just put in my pantry, but I just had that out to show you. Alright, so there is that one. Alright guys, so this one is the apple stuffed pork chop. This is an air fryer one. This is the one that I got from my new cookbook. This is the Skinny Taste Air Fryer cookbook. I do have this link down in the Amazon links, down in the description box. So I've not made this one before, so I'm going to be looking at this while I put everything in here. So you're going to have to follow along with me on the ingredients on this one. So I'm just going to be putting the ingredients in the bag. So for this one, it has two different things. You need some things for the pork and some things for the apple stuffing. So I am going to, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put together the ingredients for the pork. So for the pork, we need, I have to half this recipe because the recipe is actually for 4 servings and I'm just doing 2. So I'm going to need 2 6.5 ounce pieces of center cut loin pork chops. So I have those. So I'm going to go ahead and put the spices together. That's going to be for the inside. We're going to be cutting a slit in this pork when we cook it. And then we're going to put the seasoning on the inside and the outside of the pork. If you guys ever have any suggestions or something you want to have me try and make, a recipe, if you find a recipe, you want me to see what I can do to make it lower points or do a cook along, I love your suggestions and I want to do what you all want to see me do. So that's the goal. My goal isn't just to stand here and listen to myself. I want to help you guys. So make sure to put in the comments what you want. All right, so I'm babbling too much. Okay, so for this one, we need some salt. It looks like a half a teaspoon of salt. And what I'm going to do is just put them in the bag. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and mark what this one is, because I'm actually going to have the seasoning in 2 different bags. One for the pork and one for the stuffing. So this one, I'm going to mark for pork. So I need a half a teaspoon of salt. I need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of sage. Jen, I almost forgot. I don't know why I forget these all the time. My little bag holders. Okay, this is going to be easier. Alright, so I have half a teaspoon of salt in there. Now I need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of sage. I need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika. And then we need a little bit of, just a little dash of pepper. You know what, you guys? I think I'm going to go ahead and put this one in a container because this one has liquid. Like I said, you're following along with me. So I'm going to just put this in a container. And I'm going to mix everything with it because then next I'm going to need 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And 1 teaspoon of pure maple syrup. And then we're just going to give that a stir. So this is going to be the topping for the pork. We're going to just rub this all over the inside and outside of the pork the night we cook it. And then I'm going to relabel my bag. So we're going to put that in the bag. And then I'm going to relabel this that it's actually going to be for the apple stuffing. I should have read that and realized that I was putting the syrup in there. Okay, try this again. So now for the apple stuffing, we're actually going to need a half a tablespoon of butter. I don't usually weigh these out and put them in the bag, but for some reason today I did. And that is just to melt in the pan, so I'm keeping that separate. We're also going to need 1 large sweet apple. It calls for Honeycrisp or Gala peeled and thinly sliced. So I'm just going to put my apple in there. And then we're going to need a half of an onion. That is going in there. And then we're going to need a quarter of a cup of chopped celery. So I'm just going to put maybe 3 stalks of celery in the bag. All right, and then for the rest of it, we need a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. It's actually calling for kosher salt. I'm just using regular. Usually I do use kosher, but I need to buy some more. So, quarter of a teaspoon of salt, a quarter of a teaspoon of sage, quarter of a teaspoon of garlic powder, an eighth of a teaspoon of cinnamon. It's a lot of the same ingredients for the stuffing. And an eighth of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm going to have to check because I don't remember putting the nutmeg in the pork topping. So you also need an eighth of a teaspoon of nutmeg in that pork topping. And that is going to be it for that one. That is that one. So for the turkey tacos, I'm just going to go ahead and put some lettuce in a bag. I'm not going to put everything in the bag for the turkey tacos. We'll just do it the night that we have them. But I'll at least throw the tomato in there and the lettuce. We usually use like lettuce, tomato, black olives, cheese, sour cream. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this stuff in the bag. And I went ahead and did my turkey meat. This is just 1 pound of ground turkey breast and 1 packet of taco seasoning. And then, of course, the water for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in a bag. My dogs are out here. They smelled the meat. This is cooked and cooled down. Now what I will do is I'll just put it in a pan to heat it. I'll add just a touch of water and a little bit of taco sauce. And then I am going to use the Olay wraps, the 1-point wraps for our tacos. And then when I go to have the tacos, what I'll do is I will put my taco plate on the scale, and then that way when I put all my toppings on, I can weigh them out. The vegetables I won't weigh out, but like when I add my sour cream, I'll weigh that out. And then I'll decide how many points it's going to be. It depends how many tacos I end up eating that night. So that is the turkey tacos. I'm estimating 10 points because I'm estimating I'm going to use a lot of cheese, olives, and sour cream. So I think that's it for this week. So let me clean this up and show you what we've got. Okay guys, so here we go. These are our snacks, our 2-point puddings, and my 4-point pretzels and Laughing Cow cheese. I have that all weighed out in a bag, so I just pull them out. I forgot about our fruit this week, so I went ahead and cut up the cantaloupe. They didn't have any berries this week at Aldi, so we just have the cantaloupe, which is fine. Premier Protein, if we need it. We don't always use that. I actually ended up using it in my coffee last week. And we have some Greek yogurt. Those are 2 points each. We use those sometimes for breakfast and sometimes for snacks. For our breakfast, I have our frittatas. And the breakfast frittatas are 2 points each. My cereal is 2 points, and my almond milk is 0. And then we have our lunches, our chicken fried rice. Cannot wait to have these this week. I'm super excited about this. These are 3 points for the whole entire thing. 3 points, that's it. And then our dinners this week are cedar plank salmon with rice and broccoli, and I went ahead and just got the rice out to show. And then again, I didn't take the salmon out because it's already on the cedar plank, so I left that and went ahead and just made our sauce. And then the apple stuffed pork chops, I have everything prepped in the bag ready for that. I'm just going to do the garlic mashed potatoes, the Bob Evans microwave kind, and the microwave baby Brussels sprouts with that. And then our turkey tacos, I kind of prepped those. I went ahead and made the taco meat, and I just put some lettuce and tomato in the bag. Everything else I'll do the night we have it. And then I am going to be using the Alaskan cod for the night that we have our baked cod and cheesy potatoes. And I have to buy potatoes for those. So that is it for the prep. And I have my water. My water is sitting there. Alright guys, so that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And make sure to put any comments that you have down in the comment section. If you are on a cell phone and you don't know how to get to the comment section, make sure to just scroll down all the way past the suggested videos, and then the comment section is down there at the bottom. And make sure to put in the comments any suggestions that you have for me. If there's recipes you want me to try and tweak and come up with to make low point or to do cook-alongs with, let me know that. I'm hoping to do a cook-along with the air fryer pork chops that I have this week. So I'm not sure what night it'll be because we do have leftovers from the pot roast. So that may be Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I'm not sure. So I'm going to try and do a cook-along with that. And I think that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. I am Christy, and I am planning us healthy.